Any individual who notices the demise of galaxies perceives that nearly everything in the universe is seeking community. However, the Dipole Repeller is a puzzling exemption. What other purpose does this eerie obscuration serve? What is inside it, and is there a more detailed justification for why this locale is driving galaxies away from itself? Like the no less puzzling voids, something appears to be happening in this space that is beyond our grasping, our comprehension, and our actual amounts are coming to an impervious limit. Huge voids without another aspect, the Dipole Repeller is still a purely cosmological concept. However, voids have long been a proven and observed reality. Voids are also immense regions in the universe in which the distribution of galaxies and matter is vanishingly little compared to their normal density. Anyway, specialists suspect that voids just seem to be void. There are a couple of galaxies in them. These are so lonely that scientists who live in them probably thought for quite a while that they were the only galaxy in an immense void. The distances between the matter and the extraordinary voids are inconceivable. Estimations have shown that these districts have a low density, and the huge voids are probably direct results of the huge pack. Voids were first found during the 1970s by space experts noticing the distribution of galaxies in the universe. They took note of locales in which galaxies were totally missing or, without a doubt, daintily circulated. The most famous of these is the Boötes void, named after the heavenly body of the same name. Scientists now know of many other voids, the largest of which are supervoids that reach out over many thousands of light-years. Voids could be a key to understanding and unraveling dark energy and are currently being studied seriously. Past research has uncovered such abnormal things about the voids that scientists have come up with the most insane ideas. Voids could thus also be something like scar tissue in the infinite web. Analysts have determined that parallel universes may have crashed at these points. This would imply that we live in a multiverse after all, or that voids are passages to other aspects. There are considerably more interesting hypotheses suggesting voids may not be unfilled by any means. Some researchers hypothesize that advanced civilizations might be working in these dark spots overhead, able to overshadow whole galaxies to tackle their energy for their own purposes. The thoughts and ideas driving this speculation return to the Russian scientist Nikolai Kardashev, who suggested during the 1940s that superintelligence developing over the centuries could one day be able to fabricate gigantic power plants around galaxies, causing them to vanish to our eyes. Of course, these speculations are pure theory, but they illustrate very well how these gigantic designs are pushing our science to its limits. Stargazers and cosmologists are desperately looking for answers, utilizing every available source. What role do dark matter and dark energy play? It sounds amazing, but then it's real. The whole cosmological models we have shared with you depend on the presumption of two powers that nobody has truly seen or measured. Although dark matter and dark energy are imperceptible to direct observation, their presence has been confirmed by numerous perceptions. Dark matter applies a gravitational force that impacts the apparent matter in galaxies and galaxy groups. In fact, dark matter is thought to make up most of the matter in the universe and forms the fundamental structure for the arrangement of galaxies and vast fibers. The gravitational attraction of dark matter pulls galaxies and galaxy groups together and allows for the arrangement of the enormous structures we have introduced to you. Dark energy is another strange peculiarity that goes about as a sort of counterforce in the universe. In addition to other things, it causes the accelerated development of the universe and makes galaxies create some distance from each other on enormous cosmological scales. We experience this accelerated development and dark energy in the Dipole repellers and also in the voids. These flows in the universe are impacted by both the attraction of dark matter and the aversion of. Need I wager that there's a spot in this universe that is so horrible you'd prefer not to know it? This spot is alarming. It's a tremendous void, desolate and a secret to science. We should go on an imaginary excursion through the designs of the universe together. We start on Earth, our natural home planet. Our spaceship takes off and leaves the planetary group, passing recognizable planets, for example, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. Toward the finish of the heliosphere, we enter the interstellar medium, leaving the planetary group a long ways behind us. Our venture takes us further into the amazing field of our universe, the smooth way. Here we find stars in inconceivable numbers, some of which have celebrated names, for example, Alpha Centauri or Ceres. We cross elegant nebulae, experience puzzling black holes, and witness the introduction of stars a long ways past our world. We perceive further groups of stars, see the Andromeda Galaxy, the small and large Magellanic Clouds, and other galaxies endlessly further away. We perceive a monstrous group of galaxies known as the Virgo cluster. Here, Many worlds are associated by gravity. We see how galaxies impact each other, attract, repulse, and sometimes converge in a captivating astronomical dance. The Virgo cluster is home to over 1,300 galaxies and is a great illustration of the size and variety of structures in the universe. Our excursion proceeds to a supercluster of galaxies, the Virgo group, of which our Smooth Way is itself just a small piece of the Shapley supercluster. This huge organization of galaxy groups is associated by invisible strings of dark matter. There are many galaxy groups in the Shapley supercluster, which comprises several million galaxies. We perceive structures, the fibers by which galaxies and galaxy groups arrange themselves. And then we fly endlessly further and perceive a baffling region of the universe, a nothingness of such huge aspects that it blows our mind. It is as if we are investigating the MW of the universe, where second prior, light and the dance of beautiful worlds enchanted our eyes. A threatening obscurity now lingers. Stargazers allude to this strange structure as the Dipole Repeller. This empty space in space bafflingly impacts the development of galaxies and presumably adds to the accelerated expansion of the universe. The specific nature and capability of this district have not yet been adequately investigated. However, analysts suspect that the Dipole Repeller behaves like an undetectable cosmic guide and makes a definitive contribution to the stability of the universe, the most secretive design in the universe. The possibility of the Dipole Repeller was conceived in 2017 when a gathering of space experts led by Yehuda Hoffman suggested that this design could be one of the fundamental activators of the universe. In view of information from the 2-mass redshift survey and the Infinite Streams 3 inventory, cosmologists have gone through years investigating the underpinnings of the construction of our known universe. These two investigations have spent years breaking down the distribution and movements of galaxies in the supposed Great Stream PTH design. The 2-mass redshift surveys have recorded the ghastly light shift of millions of galaxies. With the assistance of the light shift, stargazers can determine the distance and speed of galaxies in space. Galaxies that are getting away from us progressively shift into the red tone range, while galaxies moving towards us become pale blue. The Great Streams 3 inventory manages the investigation and distribution of galaxies in our vast neighborhood. Information from this inventory abstractly describes the development of galaxies. This has resulted in designs of our universe that show streams and interactions between enormous designs like the Great Attractor and the Dipole Repeller. The Great Attractor lies toward the center of the supposed Hydra Centaurus supercluster. The Great Attractor is probably a tremendous and gigantic district in the universe that additionally impacts the development of galaxies in its area. While the gravity of the attractor draws in galaxies, the Dipole Repeller repulses them. You could also say that the attractor and repeller behave like a grandiose vortex. The interaction of the two prompts complex patterns of developments of galaxies in the universe as we know it. We now know that everything in the universe comprises stream and consistent development. The specific job of the attractor and repeller are still a mystery to analysts, and, above all, questions remain with respect to whether these two are the biggest designs or whether there are considerably bigger units. If you look at these maps of the design of the universe,